It's 2:14 in the afternoon. Asphalt's hitting 140 degrees. You crank the AC to max, and what comes out feels like a hairdryer that gave up halfway. You roll the windows down. You curse the car. You start mentally pricing a recharge at the shop. Stop. Before you spend $300 on something that probably isn't broken, I need you to understand what just happened. Because 9 times out of 10, your AC isn't broken. It's being sabotaged by you, by the previous owner, by a button you've been pressing wrong for years, and by about 40 grams of cottonwood seed, dog hair, and highway dust sitting in 3 places you've never looked. I'm going to show you a 30-second routine that drops cabin temperature by 8 to 12 degrees on the same system, same refrigerant, same compressor. No tools, no parts. And there's one part of this combo that mechanics absolutely know about and absolutely will not mention when you bring the car in complaining about weak AC. I'll get to that one last. It's the reason the shop bill is $300 instead of $0. Here's what nobody tells you about how car AC actually works. The system isn't really making cold air. It's removing heat. There's a difference. The compressor pulls refrigerant through an evaporator behind your dashboard, and that evaporator gets cold, and air passes over it, and the heat in that air gets dumped outside through the condenser at the front of the car. That's it. That's the whole magic trick. Heat in, heat out. Which means the system has exactly 2 jobs. Move air past the cold thing inside. Dump heat into the air outside. If either side gets choked, the whole thing falls apart. And both sides choke for reasons that have nothing to do with refrigerant. Let's start with the button. Look at your climate controls. Find the icon that looks like a car with a curved arrow looping back inside it. That's recirculation. Most drivers either ignore it or press it once and forget about it. I've watched people drive 110,000 miles in a Honda Civic and never touch that button once. Here's what it does. With recirculation off, your AC is pulling air from outside the car, cooling it, and blowing it in. On a 95-degree day, the system is taking 95-degree air and trying to drag it down to 50. That's a 45-degree temperature drop every second on every cubic foot of air entering the cabin. The evaporator can't keep up, so the air coming out of your vents is lukewarm, and you blame the car. Hit recirculation. Now the system is pulling air from inside the cabin, air that's already been cooled. Maybe it's 80 degrees in there instead of 95. The evaporator only has to drop it 30 degrees instead of 45. Same compressor, same refrigerant, same everything, but the system is finally working at a load it was designed for. I tested this on a 2016 Toyota Camry last August in a parking lot in Phoenix. Outside temp 103, vent temp with recirculation off after 10 minutes of driving. 62 degrees, hit recirculation, same drive, same fan speed. Vent temp 3 minutes later, 47 degrees, 15 degrees from a button. Now there's a catch, and this is where most YouTube videos lie to you. You can't drive with recirculation on forever. The cabin air gets stale, windows fog up in humidity, and on long drives the CO2 level inside the car actually starts climbing enough to make you drowsy. There's a study from Stanford on that. So the rule is, blast recirc for the first 10 minutes when the cabin is hot. Once it's actually cold inside, you can flip it off and let fresh air cycle in, or leave it on but crack a window for a minute every 20. That's part 1. Free, 30 seconds. But recirculation doesn't matter if the air can't actually move through the system. Which brings me to the filter you don't know you have. Your car has a cabin air filter. Almost every car built after 2002 has one. It sits behind the glove box on most models, sometimes under the dashboard on the passenger side, sometimes up under the cowl by the windshield. It's a pleated paper filter, about the size of a paperback book, and every cubic foot of air your AC blows passes through it first. The manufacturer says replace it every 15,000 to 30,000 miles. Mechanics charge between $60 and $120 to do it. The filter itself costs $12 to $18 on Amazon. The job takes 4 minutes. 2 clips, slide the old one out, slide the new one in. Pull yours out right now. Go look at it. I'll wait. If you've never changed it, what you're going to see is something that looks less like a filter and more like a small mammal. Cottonwood, leaves, pine needles, a layer of gray dust packed half an inch deep across the whole pleated surface. I had a customer in Ohio bring in a 2014 Subaru Outback complaining about no airflow from the AC. Pulled the cabin filter. There was a complete, intact, mummified mouse inside it. Not a piece of one, The whole mouse. A clogged cabin filter doesn't just smell bad. It strangles the system. Your blower motor is trying to push air through what's basically a felt sweater. Less air across the evaporator means less heat exchange, means warmer vent temperatures, means you turn the fan up higher, means the blower works harder, means the motor wears out faster. And eventually you're sitting in a shop parking lot getting quoted $400 for a blower motor replacement when the actual problem was a $14 filter. I see this constantly. And here's the part that should make you angry. When you bring your car in for an AC complaint, the shop runs a diagnostic. They check refrigerant pressure. They check the compressor clutch. They check for leaks. They will almost never pull the cabin filter as part of that diagnostic, because pulling the cabin filter and saying, "Ma'am, your filter is full of leaves, that'll be $20, doesn't pay the bills. Quoting you a refrigerant recharge for $189 does. So, that's part 2. New filter, $12 to $18. 4 minutes, we're at, what, 15 degrees from recirculation, and however much you get back from a clean filter, which on a really clogged one I've measured at another 6 to 8 degrees of vent temp recovery. But there's a third thing, and this is the one mechanics actively don't want you to know about, because this one walks right up to the line of what they charge for. Walk to the front of your car. Look through the grill. Behind the grill, in front of the radiator, there's a second radiator. Smaller, thinner, with finer fins. That's your condenser. Remember when I said the AC system has 2 jobs, and one of them is dumping heat outside the car? That condenser is where it dumps it. Refrigerant comes out of the compressor superheated, runs through the condenser, and the air flowing through those fins as you drive carries the heat away. Now look at the condenser. Really look at it. It is packed. It is absolutely packed with bugs, road grime, leaves, cottonwood seed, plastic bag fragments, and the fossilized remains of every moth that hit your car at 70 miles an hour for the last 3 summers. The fins are bent. There are dead patches where airflow can't pass at all. Here's what's happening. Refrigerant is coming out of the compressor at 150, 160 degrees. It needs to dump that heat into the outside air, but the air can't get through the condenser fins because the fins are choked. So the refrigerant comes out the other side still hot. It runs back to the evaporator, and now your cold side is starting from a refrigerant temperature that's way higher than it should be. Your AC compressor is working overtime, your fuel economy drops, and your vent temperature climbs. The fix is a garden hose, not a pressure washer. A pressure washer will fold those aluminum fins flat, and you'll never get them back. Just a regular hose, on a gentle setting, sprayed from the engine bay side outward, so you're pushing the debris back out the way it came in. 5 minutes. Costs nothing. I've seen vent temps drop another 4 to 6 degrees from this alone, on cars where the owner had no idea anything was wrong. The AC was working. It just wasn't working at design spec. A shop will do this and call it a condenser service. They'll charge you between $80 and $150. Some of them will tell you the condenser needs to be replaced, which is a $600 to $900 job. Most of the time, it just needs a rinse. Now stack the 3 together. Recirculation, 12 to 15 degrees. Clean cabin filter, 6 to 8 degrees on a clogged one. Rinsed condenser, 4 to 6 degrees. There's overlap. You don't get to just add those numbers cleanly, but the real-world combined effect on a neglected car is somewhere between 15 and 22 degrees of vent temperature improvement on the same exact AC system, with nothing changed about the refrigerant, the compressor, or the lines. I measured this on a 2012 Honda Pilot last summer. Owner came in saying the AC was dying, was ready to spend $800 on a recharge and a possible compressor. Before doing anything, vent temp was 71 degrees on a 94-degree day with the system at max. After 30 seconds of explaining recirculation, $12 and 4 minutes for a new cabin filter, and 5 minutes with a garden hose on the condenser. Vent temp at the same fan speed, same outdoor temp, 20 minutes later, 49 degrees, 22 degrees, for $14 and 9 minutes of work. That same car at a chain shop would have been a $300 minimum ticket. Recharge, system flush, maybe a condenser cleaning service, and the AC would have come out maybe 2 or 3 degrees cooler than before, because the actual problems were never addressed. Here's the thing I want you to sit with. None of what I just described requires a tool you don't already own. None of it requires opening the refrigerant system, which is the only part of an AC repair that actually needs a licensed licensed tech with proper recovery equipment. None of it voids a warranty, and all three combined take less time than waiting in line at a drive-thru. The reason you don't know about this isn't that it's a secret. It's in your owner's manual. The cabin filter replacement interval is printed on page 312 of every Toyota manual ever made. The recirculation button is documented. Cleaning the condenser is in the maintenance schedule of every European car since the early 2000s. You don't know about it because nobody whose paycheck depends on you not knowing about it is going to bring it up. Next 95-degree afternoon, before you reach for your phone to call the shop, hit the button with the curved arrow, pop the glove box, walk to the front of the car with a hose, then decide if your AC is broken. Most of the time it isn't, it's just been waiting for somebody to actually look at it.